Evening peeps, good evening everyone. I'm not quite sure what time you're watching this. I say this because I'm filming this at 7 o'clock. I'm not even sure what time this video is going to go up, but if it does go up before 8 o'clock and you are watching this before 8 o'clock, don't forget we have a Friday session live tonight at 8 o'clock, so make sure you tune into that, and make sure more importantly you tune in to the live watch along tomorrow. We're going to get things underway from 8 o'clock. Ring walks for Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte will be around 10 o'clock. Could be slightly earlier, might be a bit later. But yeah, make sure if you're doing nothing that you join me, because it will be fun to have you guys join me. You know what we do on the live watch alongs. It's answering as many questions as possible. We have fun, and then obviously I put my commentator hat on to try and do the best I can do in calling the fight. So yeah, tonight 8 o'clock, tomorrow 8 o'clock, make sure you join me. I was at the weigh-ins today for Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. I didn't stay for Tyson Fury versus Dillian Whyte. I'd done a lot of the build-up for Talk Sport. I was on with Simon Jordan and Jim White. Me and Gareth A. Davis got into it as well, live on air. He said, basically called out AJ. He said, oh, Dillian Whyte will beat him, Joe Joyce will beat him, and a few other heavyweights. And I was like, oh, no. Let's calm down a bit here. I said, there's Tyson Fury, there's Alexander Usyk, and then I said, there's AJ. All the talk of other heavyweights beating him, I'm just not having. And don't get me wrong, look, if you mentioned Deontay Wilder, I'll say, okay, you know, that's a shootout. But I'm not having that Dillian Whyte beats him. And this is not a dig at Dillian Whyte. And I said it on air, it's not a dig at Dillian Whyte. I just think that AJ beats him. I think AJ beats Usyk. And that's not even me being sort of my AJ fanboy hat on. I just think AJ beats both of them. And me and Gareth went into it for a couple of minutes. Look, he's got his own point of view. And to be fair, you know, he said he doesn't know where AJ is mentally right now. And yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. But for me, AJ still does the business over a lot of heavyweights. Because you lose to, I think, a great in Alexander Usyk, I'm not going to write you off. No way. So for me, AJ still beats the rest. But anyway, this isn't about AJ versus Dillian Whyte or AJ versus anyone, because this isn't an AJ show. It's a Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte show. Tyson Fury tipped the scales at 18 stone 10, which was very, very light. It's funny because you see, you know, Tyson Fury puts all the clips out of him having fun in camp, joking around. Clearly, Tyson Fury gets to work in fight camp. He gets to work in fight camp because that's, look, he's never going to have the Greek god body like a Deontay Wilder or, you know, like an AJ. That's not how he's built. But he's clearly in incredible shape. He is incredible shape. And I mean, his face is lean. His body's actually quite lean. It's just that little tire that he has around the waist. Apart from that, he's in fantastic shape. Dillian Whyte tipped the scales, apologies, at 18 stone 1, which is pretty heavy. Let's be honest, it's pretty heavy, but he carries it well. Like, I remember when AJ came in against Carlos Takam, AJ was 18 stone 4, I believe. He looked massive. Like, he looked really muscular. Whereas Dillian Whyte doesn't look that. He certainly isn't fat either. It's muscle, but it's distributed well. So he looks in great shape. He's obviously built for destruction. You probably could say that Tyson Fury's built for speed because he's a lot lighter than he's used to being. But look, I think it's going to be a great fight. I do. Everyone on the table. So I was on the table. It kept on changing. But I think the final table was me, Frank Warren, Jim White, Simon Jordan, Spencer Oliver, and Andy Clark, who's commentating for Talk Sport. And I think everyone on that table predicted that that Tyson Fury would win. I said that Tyson Fury is going to have to get up off the canvas to win, and I think he will. And I said that Tyson Fury stops Dillian Whyte rounds 10 to 11. Spencer Oliver said points, Tyson Fury. Andy Clark said Tyson Fury rounds 8 to 9, and I think Simon Jordan echoed that as well. So everyone's going Tyson Fury, but I think everyone's also saying that Dillian Whyte's going to cause him problems. Like, this is no cakewalk. Dillian Whyte's there. He's confident. If anything, Tyson Fury, I think, looks a bit apprehensive, maybe. I think Dillian Whyte looks like he's there. He's not there to play fun and games. I know a lot of people wanted to see fireworks at the press conference and fireworks at the weigh-in. You'll get fireworks on Saturday night. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I do like a bit of a push and a shove. I do like that. I don't like the, you know, feeling each other's bodies and swapping hats. I'm not a fan of that shit. But these two will bring it. These two will bring it. Like, so I have no problem with that whatsoever. You know what I did like as well? There was a few occasions when John Fury was there, and I thought Dean White and John Fury were going to go at it, and Dean White brought a crew with him. Like, he must have brought about 30 man. And these were not like soft looking dudes, mean looking dudes. And John Fury was there. Obviously that camp is strong as well. And I thought this could at any time go. But you know, they were both cordial. It was a handshake and a cuddle. And look, as much as people dig John Fury, he's a fighting man, isn't he? His son's fighting, and you can understand why he's a bit amped up. So I get it. I 100% get it. I'm looking forward to this one. I really am looking forward to it. I think it's just a big event. You could tell from the weigh-ins, all the broadcasters that were there, all the fans. There probably was 1,000 in Box Park, and I think all of them had to pay to get in as well. If it was free, it would have been rammed. And look, it might have been rammed. I left before the weigh-ins actually started, so it probably did get very, very busy. But I left about an hour and a half, 2 hours before the weigh-in started. And even when I left, there was 1,000 people in there, easily 1,000. So look, it's going to be a good one. It is now a bit of a shame that I'm not going to be there. Look, I'm very excited to do the live watch along, but sometimes you do want to witness. You really do want to witness the atmosphere of a venue like that, and it's going to be loud as well. But there are some times when I've been just as a fan to some of these big events, and I do think, aside from the atmosphere, I do think you get a good experience just watching it at home. I mean, if you're that far away, like I remember years ago, I actually done commentary. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I did this. I commentated for Wembley Stadium. So I think it was for those people that put like the hearing bit on. I don't know what it is. But anyway, I did that for Wembley Stadium for AJ Klitschko. No, that's a lie. AJ Povetkin. And I was doing it by myself. I had a little screen in front of me. I was doing it by myself. I couldn't see. From where I was sitting, and there were loads of people around me, I could not see the ring. So I had to watch it from a screen and commentate. Yeah, I'd rather be at home. Honestly, I'd rather be at home. So look, yeah, I do miss it, but I think there's going to be quite a lot of people on the live watch along, and I can't wait for it. You guys give me the energy to do those things, so look, I can't wait. Is anyone picking Dillian Whyte? It does seem like it's a bit of a clean sweep for Team Fury here. Is anyone picking Dillian Whyte? And you know what? I did do a video the other day talking about Tyson Fury's retirement. I'm going to backtrack on what I said there. I was asked that question on TalkSport. Do I think Tyson Fury will retire? And I said, no, I don't. I said, it's not just the money on the table, it's the fights that are on there as well. I think Tyson Fury is going to walk out at Wembley Stadium. And look, he's done all the big arenas in the world, and congratulations to him. He's had so many big fights, but he's done nothing like Wembley Stadium, nothing. He's going to walk out 94,000 and he's going to think, I want more of this. Especially if he wins. Obviously, if he loses, then I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if he loses, and we'll talk about what that could mean for the heavyweight division in a second. But if he wins, he's going to look up and think, yeah. It's going to be very, very difficult to retire off the back of that. And people might say, oh, but Carl Froch did. Carl Froch was done at the end of his career. Carl Froch was at the end. And even Carl Froch was tempted, nearly, remember he was going to have a fight with Julio Cesar Chavez and it just fell through. So he didn't really retire after. He wanted another fight, but it didn't happen. Tyson Fury is going to look up and think, we can do this again. And he might just be able to do it again, even if it's not AJ. He might be able to do that again with someone else. He really might be. It might not just, everyone assumes that he can only do it with AJ, where it's clear now that he's just the guy that can do it. But if AJ were to get past Usyk, considering how big this feels, and there were, what, 200,000 odd people in the queue waiting for tickets, for Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte. Can you imagine if AJ gets through Usyk, and I pray to the God that he does, can you imagine, like, and AJ Fury were to get made, can you imagine just how big that fight would be? Because, look, Frank's done okay, but let's be honest, the promotion for it has been non-existent. Non-existent. Can you imagine if the Matchroom machine get a hold of this? Alongside DAZN, alongside BT Sports, and Sky will still do their bits with it as well. I'm not even just saying this as hyperbole. There will be 500,000 people in a queue waiting for tickets. In fact, you could go more. Again, if there were 200,000 for Fury, Dillian Whyte, there could be 500,000. Anyway, that's neither here nor there because we're so far away from that. If Tyson Fury loses to Dillian Whyte, I don't think it's as big as AJ Ruiz. It's big, but I don't think it's as big as an upset. It will cause shockwaves across the boxing landscape, but it's not as big as an upset. But it would be incredible. It would be, honestly, it would be incredible. It really would. Fuck, I can't even think as to what happens because there is no rematch clause. There's none of that. Frank confirmed that as well. There is no rematch clause. So, I mean, will Tyson Fury retire? Would he try and avenge it? What does that mean for the winner of AJ Usyk? There is so much. I mean, does Deontay Wilder then say, I want Dillian Whyte? Do we get a Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder? Does that happen? Dillian Whyte's a free agent. He can go wherever he wants. I mean, he's wanted that Deontay Wilder fight. Does Deontay Wilder, Dillian Whyte do Wembley Stadium? Of course it does. Of course it does. Jeez, man. Anyway, guys, girls, what's the time? 7 o'clock. Well, yeah, just gone 7. We'll get the video up before 8, no doubt. So if you're watching this before 8, jump on the live stream. And don't forget tomorrow, the live watch along. Please, I need all of you there. Peace and love.